Today our topic is how to build better relationships using Stoic principles. Life is full of relationships, from family and friends to coworkers and strangers. These connections shape our experiences and influence how we feel about the world. But relationships can also be challenging. People can be difficult, misunderstandings happen, and emotions can get in the way. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, offers practical tools to help us build better relationships. It teaches us how to focus on what we can control, accept what we cannot, and approach others with kindness and understanding. Let's explore how Stoic principles can help us improve our relationships and live more peacefully with others. First, let's talk about control. One of the most important Stoic ideas is that some things are within our control, and some are not. Our thoughts, actions, and reactions are within our control. Other people's thoughts, actions, and reactions are not. This simple idea can change how we approach relationships. Often, we try to control others or worry too much about what they think. We might get upset when someone doesn't behave the way we want or say what we expect. But Stoicism reminds us that we cannot control others. We can only control ourselves. This shift in perspective can free us from frustration and help us focus on what truly matters, our own behavior and choices. For example, imagine a friend cancels plans at the last minute. You might feel disappointed or even angry. A Stoic approach would be to recognize that your friend's actions are outside your control. Instead of dwelling on the situation, you can focus on how you respond. You can choose to be understanding, to communicate calmly, or to use the extra time for something positive. By focusing on your own actions, you maintain your peace of mind and avoid unnecessary conflict. This doesn't mean you ignore problems or let others treat you poorly. It means you approach situations with clarity and avoid wasting energy on things you cannot change. Another Stoic principle that can improve relationships is the practice of empathy. The Stoics believed in seeing things from others' perspectives. They understood that everyone is doing their best with the knowledge and experiences they have. When someone behaves in a way we don't like, instead of judging them, we can try to understand their reasons. Maybe they are stressed, tired, or dealing with their own struggles. By practicing empathy, we can respond with compassion rather than anger. This doesn't mean we excuse bad behavior, but it helps us approach conflicts with a calmer and more open mind. For instance, if a coworker snaps at you, you might feel hurt or defensive. A Stoic approach would be to pause and consider why they might be acting this way. Are they under pressure? Are they dealing with personal issues? By trying to understand their perspective, you can respond in a way that de-escalates the situation rather than making it worse. This doesn't mean you ignore your own feelings, but it helps you communicate more effectively and maintain a positive relationship. Stoicism also teaches us to value virtue above all else. Virtue, in Stoic terms, includes qualities like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. When we focus on living virtuously, we become better people and in turn better partners, friends, and colleagues. For example, practicing justice means treating others fairly and with respect. Practicing courage means standing up for what is right, even when it's difficult. Practicing self-discipline means managing our emotions and not letting them control us. By striving to live virtuously, we build stronger, healthier relationships based on trust and mutual respect. Let's consider an example. Suppose you are in a disagreement with a family member. Instead of reacting with anger or frustration, you can choose to act with wisdom and self-discipline. You can listen to their point of view, express your own calmly, and look for a solution that respects both sides. This approach not only resolves the conflict more effectively, but also strengthens the relationship by showing that you value fairness and understanding. Another important Stoic principle is the practice of gratitude. The Stoics believe that focusing on what we have, rather than what we lack, brings contentment and peace. In relationships, this means appreciating the people in our lives and the positive qualities they bring. It's easy to take others for granted or focus on their flaws, but Stoicism encourages us to shift our attention to the good. By practicing gratitude, we can deepen our connections and create a more positive atmosphere in our relationships. For example, instead of complaining about what your partner doesn't do, you can focus on what they do well. Maybe they are kind, supportive, or funny. By appreciating these qualities, you strengthen your bond and create a more loving environment. This doesn't mean ignoring problems, but it helps you approach them from a place of gratitude rather than frustration. Gratitude also makes us more pleasant to be around, which can improve how others treat us in return. Stoicism also teaches us to accept imperfection. No one is perfect, and relationships will always have ups and downs. The Stoics understood that life is unpredictable and that people will sometimes disappoint us. Instead of expecting perfection, we can accept that flaws and mistakes are part of being human. This doesn't mean we tolerate bad behavior, but it means we approach relationships with realistic expectations and a willingness to forgive. For instance, if a friend lets you down, you can choose to accept their imperfection and move forward. You can address the issue if necessary, but you don't let it ruin the relationship. By accepting that no one is perfect, including ourselves, we can build more resilient and forgiving relationships. This approach also helps us let go of grudges and focus on what truly matters. Another Stoic practice that can improve relationships is mindfulness. The Stoics believed in being fully present in the moment and paying attention to our thoughts and actions. In relationships, this means being a good listener, giving others our full attention, and being aware of how our words and actions affect them. By practicing mindfulness, we can communicate more effectively and show others that we value them. For example, when someone is speaking to you, you can focus on their words instead of thinking about what you'll say next. This simple act of listening can make the other person feel heard and respected. Mindfulness also helps us notice when we are reacting emotionally and gives us the space to choose a more thoughtful response. This can prevent misunderstandings and build stronger connections. Finally, Stoicism teaches us to focus on the present moment. Many relationship problems arise from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. The Stoics believe that the only moment we truly have is the present, and that is where we should focus our energy. By staying present, we can fully engage with the people around us and enjoy our time with them. This doesn't mean we ignore the past or future, but it means we don't let them control us. For instance, if you are spending time with a loved one, you can focus on enjoying the moment rather than thinking about past arguments or future worries. This presence not only enriches your experience, but also shows the other person that you value them. By being fully present, we can build deeper, more meaningful relationships. In conclusion, Stoic principles offer valuable tools for building better relationships. By focusing on what we can control, practicing empathy, living virtuously, expressing gratitude, accepting imperfection, being mindful, and staying present, we can create stronger, healthier connections with others. These principles help us approach relationships with clarity, compassion, and resilience. They remind us that while we cannot control others, we can always choose how we respond. By applying these ideas, we can improve not only our relationships but also our own peace of mind. Life is full of challenges, but with Stoic wisdom we can navigate them with grace and build a life rich with meaningful connections.